You're watching Book TV on C-SPAN 2, and now joining us live is the author of Flash Boys. Michael Lewis, what is a Flash Boy?
The heroes of the book are the Flash Boys, and they're people who discover that the stock market's got something funny going on and seek to find out what it is, and then build a mechanism to prevent predators in the stock market from getting to prey. And it's called the Flash Boys for a couple of reasons, actually. One is that the solution that the main characters come up with requires them to be faster than the high-speed traders who are the predators in the stock market. So they've got to be, I wanted speed in the title, but I also wanted kind of superhero in the title, because there were these characters at the center of the story. I felt, they're not doing anything unnatural, but they do have these weird powers in the financial markets right now, and the powers are powers to explain complicated things to people, the power to kind of engender trust in others. But the last reason it's called Flash Boys is I knew I wanted flash in the title because the markets have taken this term, and flash crashes and flash orders, and flash trading. And I had a title that was kind of an inert title. I thought I was going to call it The Flash Trap. And I was driving with my kids in a car one day, and they said, "What's the book called that you're working on?" I said, "Flash Trap." And they said, "That's really dull." And I said, "Well, you come up with a better one." And they said, "What's it about?" And I said, "Well, it's kind of about these guys on Wall Street who figure out rich people on Wall Street are stealing from less rich people or middle-class people. And they get upset about it, and they try to do something about it. And they go, my kids go, "Rich people are stealing from other people?" I said, "Yeah, that's awful." I said, "Well, yeah, but that's what's happening." He said, "And they're going to fix it?" I said, "Yeah, they're going to fix it, because that's like Robin Hood or something." I said, "It's kind of like Robin Hood." And they said, one of my children said, "Why don't you call it Flash Boys?" So I thought, there's my title. I never told my publisher that, where it came from, but that's where it came from.
How, in your view, are people stealing from others on Wall Street?
Well, stealing I think everything is going on, as far as I know, it's legal. I don't know if what's going on is illegal or illegal, but the stock exchanges have become unfair places for investors. And it's happened pretty rapidly over the last 6-7 years, where the 13 public stock exchanges, they're all scattered through New Jersey. High-speed traders are provided by the exchanges for fees, for lots of money. The high-speed traders pay the exchanges for special fees, which enable them to see movement in stock prices before ordinary investors. So they know it's only a couple of a millisecond advantage. It's the amount of time involved is very, very slight, but they know today's prices, and we know yesterday's prices, and the ordinary investor knows yesterday's prices. The analogy is, it's a bit like someone knowing the result of a horse race before it's been run, walking into the track and starting to be able to bet with other people who are betting on the horse race. So there's this unfairness in the middle of the system. So that's the problem, and that problem is nobody quite knows how big the problem is in terms of like the sums of money that are being essentially taxed out of investors by Wall Street intermediaries. But it's billions of dollars a year.
Because of these milliseconds.
Because of these milliseconds.
All right. This is something you write in your book, Flash Boys, Mr. Lewis. You write that over the past decade, the financial markets have changed too rapidly for our mental picture of them to remain true to life. The picture I'll bet most people have of the markets is still a picture of a human being that a human being might have taken. In it, a ticker tape runs across the bottom of some cable TV screen, with alpha males in color-coded jackets standing in trading pits, hollering at each other. That picture is dated. The world it depicts is dead.
Yeah, and in fact, that's the picture I kind of had in my head when I got into this story. I didn't have any great sense of what had happened in the market. It was only 3 or 4 years ago that you started hearing this phrase, high-frequency trading. And it's really only in the last decade that the markets have become fully automated, meaning that all trades are essentially matched inside of computers rather than by human beings on the stock exchange. And the New York, it's funny because it's a problem and it's also a literary opportunity to describe what this new world is. but you can see how hard it is for people to get their minds around what not just the stock market but all the financial markets have become, because they cling to the old picture. You used to, when you watch the TV and there are reports about what's going on in the stock market, there are pictures of people on the New York Stock Exchange as if those people are actually at the center of the market still. The old picture is still sort of being used because the new picture hasn't been drawn. So one of the things I'd hoped to do, it was almost by the by, but I thought it would be, is to leave a reader with a sense of a different sort of picture. But the problem is, in order to generate that mental picture, you almost have to imagine time the way a computer does. That's what's happened, is that a computer can make 1,000 trades in the time it takes a human being to make one. Computer time, it's a bit like geological time, like time it takes to form mountains and valleys and rivers, and it's hard to get your mind around what can be done in a millisecond.
If you were to draw that picture today, Michael Lewis, would you draw it at the New York Stock Exchange on Wall Street, or would you draw it in Mahwah, New Jersey?
Well, so I would draw it in Mahwah, New Jersey. I mean, the exchanges are all housed in data centers, very heavily guarded data centers, in Weehawken, Secaucus, Carteret, and Mahwah, New Jersey. And when you go in them, what you see is there are boxes of black boxes. There's rows and rows of black boxes. But one set of the black boxes is the exchange itself. It's called the matching engine, where buyers and sellers are connected. And where kind of price discovery happens, what the price of a stock should be, because the buyer and the seller agrees to meet at that price. Then you have around that matching engine the boxes of the high-frequency traders who pay $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month, whatever it is, to connect a line directly into the box to get information about what's happening on the exchange before everybody else.
What is front running that you talk about in Flash Boys?
So front running is, the idea of it is almost like tickets. Imagine a ticket scalper, someone who figures out that the show is going to be sold out, runs up, buys tickets, turns at the box office price, and turns around and sells them at double the price to people who walked up to see the show. In the stock market, what is happening often is that faster traders with faster machines are able to anticipate orders to buy and sell stock from investors, in every kind of investor, little investor to big investor, and buy the stock, say, before them, and sell it back to them at a slightly higher price.
And you're talking about a millisecond, 1/1,000,000th of a second.
Even millisecond is a thousandth of a
thousandth
second.
of a second.
But we're talking microseconds too. I mean, actually, high-frequency traders now are making decisions to improve speeds by nanoseconds. So a millisecond is a thousandth of a second, a microsecond is a thousandth of a millisecond, and a nanosecond is a thousandth of a microsecond. So the increments of speed are mind-numbingly small. It's very hard. My point is that the ability to divine your intentions and act faster than you creates this opportunity for front running. It doesn't mean it happens every trade in the stock market, but I think it happens quite a lot. And what was interesting to me about this story, about this young man, this young Canadian who sort of figures out for himself what's going on. He's a trader on Wall Street, but he finds himself being front run, and he can't figure out quite how people are doing this. Is that once he figures it out, and he wanders around even the offices of even the most sophisticated investors in America, big hedge fund managers, for example, he finds that everybody senses there's this front running going on, but nobody knows the nature of it. No one understands why. No one understands it's in the plumbing of the market. So Bill Ackman, big hedge fund manager in New York, who often buys and sells big chunks of companies, told me that he said before Brad Katsuyama, the main character of the story, came into his office, he thought he had an insider trading issue, that he was thinking of buying some stock. He was going out in the market to buy some stock, and the stock would move on him, that he'd try to buy it and it would go up before he could buy it, as if someone knew that he wanted to buy it and then sell it back to him at a little higher price. That captures the flavor of front running. It's like it's people learning what you want to do before you do it, and doing it